Chase Sexton crash analysis. I don't believe that he crashed because he was physically looking where Tomac was at on the track. Mentally, he definitely knew where Tomac was at, and he was probably thinking about it, which potentially created the lapse of concentration. But let's watch it in real time, and then we will break it down here. Wonderful race between these two guys this weekend. Boom. Really bummer to see that actually happen and happen a couple more times. Definitely lapse of concentration, I believe, is what caused these. And I think it was a lot of body weight, right? And so if we watch Barcia behind him and Dungey, they're actually wheeling into the face. You can see Barcia, his front wheel is up. He is wheeling into the face. Boom. Then going. Then Dungey afterwards, intentional wheelie into the face. Boom. Small little kick. All right, and then boom, wheelie into the face, kick. And Tomac, he's doing what the other riders are doing as well, is he's weighting the outside peg. You know, it's a left-hand turn, but they're weighting the right-hand side of the bike, having their ass moved over on the ass crack is on, you know, the right-hand side of that seat, because the track is different from what it was in Moto 1. Incredibly rough, incredibly dry, incredibly concrete and rocky and holy, right? Choppy with big holes. Therefore, they've got to ride the bike a little bit differently, and how are they adapting that is by weighting the outside peg, right? They can't be leaning into the corner because they're going to slip out much more. They've got to weight that outside. So Tomac, we watch him beautifully weight the outside peg, and then he's transitioning his weight. You can literally see him going from the right-hand side of the bike to boom, 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 the left-hand side of the bike for the right-hand turn. Beautifully executed. Let's watch what Sexton does coming into here. All right, so dun dun dun. Beautiful form. Beautiful form. Ass crack is on that right hand outside. You know, he's weighting the outside peg, maybe not as much as Tomac, and that potentially is to keep them from, if they do slide, you know, they can compensate for it. But there is a rut forming here, and you can see it in the later aspect. I will show it here in just a bit, but they are jumping out of what is the rut forming here to basically create a new line. They're intentionally jumping out of it. So his weight is jumping out of it, boom, but the rear wheel is staying in that line. So that is a problem as far as the motorcycle slipping on the ass end outside. Boom, and he's having to correct that. And what he needs to do is he quickly needs to get his body over to the other side. His body needs to move to the left-hand side quickly, okay, because inertia is forcing it the other direction, especially because there's a right-hand corner coming here. Boom, and so he's trying to, but his body really should be over here, and he should be wheeling in a straight up and down to get over whatever hole is potentially on that single down there, and he was unable to do so. And so just, you know, his body weight was off. And that's all that happened here that created the crash, in my opinion. I think it's a lapse of focus. You know, he's thinking 4 corners ahead as opposed to being in the present moment, because he knows that he's got to pass, you know, Anderson. He's got to get up front and Craig, and so that he can win the moto, and Tomac has got to finish third. He's doing all that math in his head. After this, he gets up, and it's sort of panic control, you know, and I believe that's where he crashed multiple times, because he was trying to race forward and race the track like he was in the first moto, when the track, again, is much more difficult with how dry and slippery it was and concrete it was. He was overriding the track. Now, so if we look about 15 minutes later in the moto, you can see that line actually formed, where they're not trying to jump out of the rut anymore. They're just following it. And Sexton kept trying to jump out of it. And you can see his ass end spinning out here, where he's getting his front wheel out, right? So he got his front wheel out, rear end is still following it, where before the previous line was a few feet to the inside of this. You know, so this was just one of those areas that Sexton seemed to struggle compared to some other riders. Like if we were to watch the riders behind him execute it, you know, again, you've got Barcia wheeling into the face, and he does it beautifully. Then you've got Dungey wheeling into the face, doing it beautifully. Boom. And Tomac does it, executes it perfectly. He executed the weekend extraordinarily well, and it was bummer to see Sexton, who possibly was the better rider, but he just didn't have the experience and I would say the mental aptitude to deal with a situation like this. So he definitely learned from this weekend with being this close to Tomac, and he's definitely going to be a fan favorite for 2024 motocross. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think happened. Was it more of a mental thing? Was it just a rider error? Was it the body language, his body weight, was it off? Was it a multiple of things? Let me know. This is Johnny F. and Hopper. Until next time, keep it tuned to MX Unfiltered, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bra da 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 da.